Have you guys ever brought up an issue to somebody and seen them literally stop listening in real time? Their whole face changes. Their body gets tight, they cross their arms, their jaw drops, their lungs fill with air. And before you can even get a full sentence out, they're already preparing to stop you dead in your tracks. Not to try and understand you, but defend whatever accusation they think is coming. You might just be trying to say, hey, it kind of hurt when you did this. But they are already behind a wall, braced for impact, loading up the explanation. I think that's rejection sensitivity working overtime. God forbid somebody feels a little bit criticized, now they're in full defensive lockdown. DEFCON 37. Surface-to-air missiles armed. Artillery pointed directly at your feelings. Once that happens, the conversation turns so fast. Now it's not, what did I do and how did it affect you? Now it's, well, I only did that because you did this. I wouldn't have reacted that way if you hadn't have made me feel like that. I wouldn't have done it if you hadn't hurt me first. And now we're in a blame loop. Nobody's listening anymore. Nobody is growing together. Nobody's trying to understand the wound. We're just passing pain back and forth like it explains everything. And I get it. Old pain matters. Betrayal, childhood stuff, old relationships, rejection sensitivity, trauma responses. All of that matters, but I can't use old pain as a permission slip to stay defended forever. At some point I have to stop making my pain the reason why I don't look at yours. Which sucks because it's so much easier to explain why I reacted than it is to own what my reaction did. And I've been on both sides of that. I've tried to bring up something that hurt me and had it immediately turn into a debate on why they had no choice. And I've done the same thing. I've stopped listening to understand and started looking for the part that I could correct. The part that I could defend. The part where I could prove that I wasn't as bad as you were making me feel. But someone telling me that I hurt them is not the same thing as them saying I'm evil. It means I finally have some information. I can either use that information to grow, or I can use my history to explain why I don't have to. My pain can explain my reaction, but it does not automatically justify it. My fear can explain why I got defensive, but it does not erase the impact. My past can explain why something felt bigger than it was, but it does not give me the right to make somebody else carry it. And that does not mean that I have to accept blame for everything. That does not mean that I have to let somebody else rewrite reality. It does not mean that I have to abandon myself just to keep the peace. It just means that before I have to defend my entire existence, that I can ask one honest question. Is there anything true in what they're saying? Not is all of it true, not did they say it perfectly, not do I like their tone. Is there anything true in it? Because if there is, that's where the work is. And if every hard conversation turns into who hurt who first, nothing gets repaired. It just turns into two people using their pain as proof to why they don't have to change. And I do not want that anymore. I don't want to keep calling that communication when it's really just defense with better vocabulary. I want to be able to hear something uncomfortable without immediately making it about whether I'm a good person or not. I want to grow with somebody without both of us needing to stay innocent. Because love can't grow in a blame loop. Somebody has to stop throwing pain across the room and say, okay, I hear you. Let me look at my part. And for me, that starts with shutting up long enough to hear the part that I don't want to believe is true. Corey Walker, Grounded Anchor, just your local fisherman trying to stop using old hooks as an excuse to cut the line. Tune in tomorrow for another Daily Dose of Honesty.